Okay, we're in the middle of a sugya, the sugya of workers paying a worker. So we saw the psukim yesterday that like Sasha Yachav like Sigza like Solim Pula Star Itcha Ad Boike. You shouldn't go ahead and leave over Ad Boike. You should not leave over the right. Like, so we saw all these drushes and everything. We saw machloikis between by Behema and Kalim. Mishnah said you're over on all of them, but the Gertoishav you only be on Matitain because it says Reyacha, not and Gertoishav is not Reyacha. Tanakama says Sacha, you learn all of them. Rabbi Yossi does not learn Sacha. Mamela he says only he agrees with the Tanakama over here, but over here Skarani he has a limit from the word ani. Okay, so we're continuing along that line. This Gemara not a difficult Gemara at all. Baruch Hashem. Okay, we're up to Kufyud Beis on the base. So we said two pshatim in the words ve'elav hu noiseas nafshay. And now the question is ve'elav hu noiseas nafshay. We said we're speaking about a worker who's willing to give over his nefesh to make money, and you're holding it back on him, right? Or we said anyone who holds back is like you're taking his nefesh. So we're going to have machloikis in the word what nafshay means now. So we're about 5 lines down. Rav Huna, Rav Chisda, Chad Amar. Rav Huna, Rav Chisda, Chad Amar, nafshay shel gazlin. When it says nafshay, it's referring to the gazlin, in this case, the boss, the balabas. The Chad Amar nafshay shel nigzal. The other one says it's the nafshay of the nigzal, in this case, the worker. Mandi Amar nafshay shel gazlin. It says al tigzal dol ki dalhu. Don't go ahead and steal from a poor person. He's poor. Well, tidaber oni bishar. Don't go ahead and press a poor person. Uksiv ki Hashem yoriv rivam bekava es kovehem. Hashem will fight their fight, and He'll take away the life of those people who rob them of life. So we see the term life is used in term of the robber, the ganif. That's the opinion of the one that says nafshay means the balabas. Uman diom nafshay shel nigzal, it means the nigzal, it means the worker. The chsiv, it says kain arches kol beitzei batza. So are the ways of anyone who's greedy. As nefesh ba'olav yikach, he goes ahead and takes the nefesh of his ba'olav, means that the one he's the victim. Okay. V'idach nami. So what does each one do with the other one's limud? V'idach nami haksiv es nefesh ba'olav yikach. So what does the Madyamu says? It's speaking about the balabas. What does he do with the limud that one says it's the victim? It says Gemara ba'olav the hashta. It means the current bal. Who's the current bal? That's the one holding on to the money. That would be the ganef. V'idach nami, and the one who says it's going on the nigzal haksiv kaves kaveyem nefesh, and that implies what the life of the gazlin, the balabas. Matam kamar, matam kaves kaveyem. What's the reason Hakadosh Baruch Hu will go ahead and punish them? We should do not nefesh, because to take away the nefesh of the what of the nigzal of the worker. Okay, so agadata dealing throughout with the worker and the what a nefesh is referring to. Now. Amasai, when are they over on Leisalin? Amasai, when are they over on Leisalin? Bisman shetavo. Only when the worker goes ahead and he's being taiveya his claim. He's asking him to pay him. Leitavu, but if he doesn't, ain't over love. Then he's not over on Leisalin. Leisalin is only over when the worker comes and he doesn't pay him. But if he doesn't come, he's not over on Leisalin. Again, we spoke out Leisalin, guys. It's only the morning after, right? It's only the Yom Rishon Bovad. It's only on Rishon. Okay. Tanarabanan, Leisalin Pulas Sachir. You should not go ahead and leave over the wage of a Sachir. Yachal Afil Leitvo. I might think even if he doesn't make a claim. Hamalayma, it says Itcha. We said Itcha with you. That was the Itcha. It means that you willingly withheld him. You willingly withheld what the. And we're dashing, guys, itcha with your das. In other words, with you, when the money is with you, but not with when you have control of things. Not when the guy is not being taveh you. So itcha midaitcha, according to your das. That's the limud the Gemara is making. Your das. Yachal afilu eloi. I might think you're overly sullen. Listen to this, guys. Let's say you don't have money to pay him. The guy shows up, the worker shows up, and you don't have the money. So you might think that what you're overly solemn because you don't have the money. It says with you, sheyesh itcha. It's mashma that what when you have it, that you have it with you. Yachal afilu him chachu eisel chenvani veisel shulchani. We said this case yesterday where he told the worker to go ahead and get paid by the chenvani and the shulchani. I don't think I was clear yesterday, or I wasn't so clear. This is the worker is masking to get. I get Heshi to answer your question. The worker is masking to go to the chenvani, the shulchani for his pay. He's masking to go there for his pay. Okay, so I might think that he is over on what on leisalin. It's with you, but not with somebody else. So you have three limudim, right? Either the guy is not taveh you, or you don't have the money, or you went ahead and designated somebody else with the haskama of the worker to go ahead and pay. So again, we see a lot of like Solon is a very severe issa, but we see a lot of legal loopholes in to avoid it. Now we said this din himcho etzel chenvani ve'etzel shulchani. If the balabas he told him he had designated the chenvani, the storekeeper, or the shulchani to pay. Ain't over. Then if they don't pay, he is not over. Now iboyalahu. Here's the question. Let's say the following. Chayzer or ain't a chayzer? Let's say he doesn't want to pay. The chenvani agrees to pay, and the poil agrees. And then the chenvani goes ahead and he retracts. Can the poil go back and collect from the balabas? In other words, does the chenvani become the balabas, or is the chenvani just like a shliach of the balabas? If he's a shliach of the balabas, then the worker will be able to go back to the balabas. If, however, he is designated that he's going to be the one that pays, if he doesn't pay, in a chayza, he won't be able to go back. So iboilu chayza, can the one if the chenvani did not pay him, can the worker go back? Ayin a chayza or not? So machlokes Rashesha sama ayin a chayza. Rashesha says he can't go back. The Rabbi says chayza he can go back. And again, I guess the lumdus would be, how do you view the chenvani? Do you view him as an administrator of the balabas, the shliach, and then if he doesn't pay, he can go back? Or do you view him now as the balabas, and therefore he can't go back? Amar Rabba, mino amin Allah. Where does Rabba know that he could go back? Miditani eina over love. The Mishnah said that if he designated the chenvani, then the balabas is not over on leisalin. Ma'avahu deloy over. He's not over on leisalin hamahada hada. But still, the diak is he's not over on it, but the worker can come and collect from him. Ain't over love. He's not over about Solon because he designated the shulchani or the chenvani. What about coming back? Sure, he can come back. That's right. And Rav Sheshes Amar, my ain't over. When it says Rav Sheshes who says you cannot go back, how does he infer the diak? My ain't over. Ain't b'toris lava. He's not in the parsha being over anything. No, he's not in the parsha of being over Solon, and he's not in the parsha of owing the guy any money whatsoever. The work dealings is totally with the chenvani. Again, the worker, the question only is who's he going to get paid from? Can he go back to, right? If he can't go back to the balabas, he stays by the chenvani. If he could go back to the balabas, he goes back to the balabas. But the worker is not being made over that to get money. The question is in the case where he designated and he agreed to it, guys, and he agreed to it, can you go back or not? Says Rabbi, you could go back to the balabas. Says Rav Sheshes, you can't go back to the balabas. What about kablonos? Says Rashi, kablonos. Umin shekibel alav lasais malacha. A person who agreed to go ahead and do amount of work, bekach v'kach, for a certain amount. So he's not a day worker that you can't hold over. He's being paid for the job. He's what you call a contractor. He's a professional. He could be a shoemaker. He could be a tailor. He could be a painter. Whatever he is, you're paying someone for a job. Now, is there a din of sullen by a kablan? Clearly, by a poil, there's a din of sullen. What's the din mat by a? What's the din by a kablan? What's the din by a kablan? That's the Gemara Shaila. So, boy, mine Rav Sheshes kablanos over Allah b'shem bal sullen. I ain't Allah bal sullen. Umin koine b'shvach kli bal vahi. I ain't umin koine b'shvach kli ustirasi. Okay, outside eye contact, esber. You go ahead and you give wood to a carpenter. You give wood to a carpenter, you say, I want you to make me a bookcase. Now, the wood is worth $100 worth of wood. After he makes the bookcase, it's worth $1,000. There's $900 improvement. Who owns that? Is it owned by the person who gave it to him, the balabas, or is it owned by the craftsman? And then the craftsman is getting paid like he's selling it back to the balabas. In a sense, he owes him the money, that the balabas owes him the money. If you hold umin koine b'shvach kli, a craftsman acquires the improvement of a kli, then when the balabas pays him, he's buying. It's the umin owns it now, and he's buying it. So in fact, what it's a halva. He owes him the money. He owes the umin the money. If on the other hand the umin is not koine shvach kli, then it never leaves the rishus of the owner of the balabas, and simply is being paid for a job. If you're going to hold guys umin koine b'shvach kli, there's no din of leisalin. If you hold ein umin koine b'shvach kli and he's just a worker and he's being paid for a job, then there would be a din of leisalin. That's the tut stadim in the Gemara. Says the Gemara. Boy, me name Rav Sheshes. Kablanis over Allah mishum bal solin or ein over mishum bal solin. Umin koine b'shvach kli v'halvahi, and then he would not be over. And then he would be over. That's a very lumdish way of looking at a kablan. A very lumdish way. How do you view the improvement in the object? Do you view it as his having ownership, or do you view it as still in the shus of the balabas? Amalu Rav Sheshes, over, says Rav Sheshes, he would be over, because he holds obviously ein umin koine b'shvach kli. He would hold ein umin koine b'shvach kli. Ivar Tanya ein over, right? It says Eino Oiver, Mashma Umen Koin B'Shvach Kli. Says Gemara Chasam Shemchu Eitzel Kenvani Veshvani. When you said Eino Oiver, it's when it was designated. Payment was designated by the Kenvani and the Shulchani, and we know there that there's no Eisaler. Name a Messiah. I'll bring you proof to Rav Sheshes that Umen is Koin B'Shvach Kli. And Noisin Talisay Umen. If someone gives what a talis to an Umen, and Gomra he completes it. The Haidiu. And he informs it that it's completed. I feel mikan vas esayomim ain't over mishum basalim. Then even over 10 days, he's not over basalim. Nasnuloi bechatzi ayoim. If he gives him in half the day, mishashak alav chama. As soon as it sun sets, over mishum basalim. Right? Then he over basalim. Now, obviously, why? Because he must hold ein umin koine b'shvach kli. He's a kabbalah. Says Mavi, I'm an umin koine b'shvach kli. Am I over? If you can hold the umin's over b'shvach kli, why is he over? He's just buying back. He's buying back or paying up his halva, paying up his loan. So on Rav Murray, Breder of Kahana, regarded the sarbala. He's speaking when you gave it to a person to soften it. It's mashma, he's not improving it, he's softening it. Read the Gemara, Lama Lamayahav Nele, why'd you give it to him? To soften it. So Haina Shvache, that is the improvement. So what's your teretz? You want to say umin's takakoina b'shvach kli, and really what? And really, you should not be over in Balsalin. The reason you over Balsalin over here is because there's no shvach. Why is no shvach? Because you softened it. Fred the Gemara isn't softening itself. Goof is shvach. It says more like tzricha to ka'agre mine livtushe bitsha b'masa. This is not your typical umin. This is a poil. He was hired. Each time he hits this thing, he's going ahead right, and he is improving it. Each time he hits it, he's improving it. But since he's being paid by the hitting and not the overall job, he's not a kablan. He's a seicher. So therefore, you would be what? You would be over a seller. Therefore, what? He's not a woman. In fact, he's a seicher, and therefore has no bearing on our shiloh. Okay, Amid base. We said the following, that a sacher is manoi, a sacher who's tavea in the right time. He worked for this day, he's tavea in the night afterwards, or vice versa, right? And the owner says he paid him up. So the halacha our Mishnah said is that he's nishba v'noito. So again, just for repetition's sake, we said many, many, many times, and at one point in time we have to get it. Every shvua of the Torah is a shvua to get off the hook. Every shvua of this Torah is a shvua to get off the hook. Moed b'miktsas, I'm only going to pay you partially. Shvuas hashayimrim, I'm potter. Shvuas eid echad, I'm off the hook. I don't know this, right? Everyone, if you're going to have a shvua to take, it's always what? It's always a shvua derabbanan. This goes back to Daf Gimel, guys. It's shvua deraisa, miga the chasher shvua. We throw it back on him. So over here, where's the time of this shvua that if there is a discrepancy between the owner and the worker, that the worker swears and takes. So that's the sugya we're about to do now. So Sachir Bismanoi, the Balabayas says that he paid him, and the Sachir says he wasn't Nishba. The Sachir goes ahead and he swears V'naito, and he takes it. Says the Gemara, Sachir Amaita Kinole Rabbanan L'Mishtaba V'Shakol. Why did Rabbanan make a takana that he should swear and take? As we just stated, right? Any shvua over here is a shvua to take. Why do they do this? Says the Gemara, Yehuda Shmuel, halachas gedoyle shanukan. We're learning grace halachas here. Now, the Gemara assumes when it says halachas, it's halacha mashmi sinai. Usually that's what it is. So for the Gemara kasha, hi hilchas edinu. Is this halacha mashmi sinai? Hani takanas dinu. This is takana. It's the chachamim making a takana. It's no halacha mashmi sinai. Alam Rabbi Yehuda Shmuel, takanas gedoyle shanukan. We're learning from the takanas gedoyles. Right? Takanas gedoyles we're learning over here. Fred the Gemara, Gedolos, Mechal Dika Katanos, any takana, well, any takana they make is big, right? What's takana Gedolah? Say Elo Amar of Nachman Shmuel, you know what it means? Takanas Kevuas Shanakan. Says Rashi, what's takanas Kevuas? Roy la Soisan Keva, it's roy to make it permanent. La Kar Aleim Dovim in Atayra, to be Oikem the Torah. The Midaraisa, Misha Yeshalav L'Shalem, the one who has to pay, who Nishba, he swears, Tichsiv, the Lakach Ba'alav, the Yishalim. The Hacha Shaklua L'Shvua Mi Balabayas. We're taking the Shvua from the Balabayas. The Shadua Asakir, and we're putting on the Sakir. So again, Midaraisa, the person swears and gets off the hook. So over here, the Balabas should swear that he paid the money and get off the hook. We're taking it away. This is me Takana Kavua. We're being Kaiveya for all intents and purposes, and being Oiker the Shvua from the Balabas to say he's off the hook, and putting it on the Seicher to go ahead and get his money. Okay, says the Gemara. Takanas Gedol Shanukan. Shvua the Balabayasi. The Shvua really belongs to the Balabas. V'Akrua Rabbanon l'Shvua the Balabayas v'Shayua Sachir. They went ahead. They took the Shvua from the Balabas to get off the hook, and they put it on the Sachir. Mishum Kidei Chayav the Sachir. That the Sachir should go ahead and have a life. Nice. This guy's a worker. He's got to get paid. If you're going to Balabas is going to be able to swear, he's not going to get paid. So in order to facilitate him getting paid, we take the Shvua. Now the Gemara is obviously going to ask, why you only care about the worker? Why don't you care about the Balabas? Right? So it says the Gemara, Umishum Kidei Chayav the Sachir, Mafsidina le'Balabayas. Just because we want the Sachir to get paid, are we going to be Mafsid the Balabas? Balabayas Kufa Nichel says, and for the Gemara, okay, guys, hear the kasha. The Gemara is saying the following. Again, we're starting from a point. What's the point of reference? The shvua is always the guy gets off the hook. Over here, we're making the shvua, the guy's collecting. Fred Gemara, why? And for the Gemara, Kidei Chayav. The Chacham made a takana in order to facilitate food and clothing and for the worker. Fred the Gemara, I don't understand. If really the shvua is by the Balabas, it should stay by the Balabas. Good, he has needs. The Balabas also has needs. Can't just any worker can come along and swear and collect his money. You're just going to take it away from him. It says the Gemara the following. So, Umishum Kidei Chayav the Sachir Mafsidin Le Balabas, and for the Gemara Balabas Kufa Nichale the Mishtabes Sachir V'Shakol. The Balabas is happy. Why? Kihechad the Litagula Poilim. The Balabas always needs workers. And if a worker is not going to be able to swear and get his money, he's not going to want to go to work because he always has the fear that the Balabas will say, I paid you. So it's good for the Balabas to allow the worker to swear in order to go ahead and facilitate him getting workers. Fred the Gemara, Sacha Gufa Nichale, the Mishtaba Balabayas V'Yivka. It's good what for the Sacha, for him, that the Balabas swears and gets off the hook. Ki Heki Diligruhu, in order he should hire him. In other words, psychologically, what are you telling me? That it's good for the Balabas that the worker swears in order to have work to do. Conversely, the worker says it's good for the balabas to swear, therefore they'll hire me. In other words, it's tit for tat. Each one has a mila. Each one has a mila. The balabas wants the worker to swear, so he'll get workers. The worker wants the balabas to swear, so he'll get a job. So if that's your svara, that doesn't wash, because the svara for the worker is the same svara for the balabas. The worker wants the balabas to swear, so he'll hire somebody. So that doesn't seem to be a very good svara. Says the Gemara, Sacha gufa nichalei the mishtabe balabayis v'yivka ki heichel agrinu. It says Gemara balabayis al karchi agar. It doesn't make a difference. Balabayis he has to hire. He has no choice. He needs workers. So he doesn't care. The shvur does not mean as much to him as the worker. So therefore, the svara of him being able to have the worker swear in order to get workers, he's okay with that. Read the Gemara, Sachanami bal karchi itzgar. The oil also, right? He needs a job. He needs his mezainis. So again, the same svara. The worker needs to get a job. The balabas needs workers, and the workers need balabatim. So therefore, we're going to change the pshat, guys. We're changing. It doesn't mean it's good for the worker. It's good for the balabas. Ella, dead end, new pshat. Ella, what are we talking about over here? Ella, balabayas tori b'poyalim. There's a svara to say that the balabas, when he's giving out the paychecks, he may have gone ahead and missed one. The reason why we take away the shvua from the balabas and put it by the worker, there's a chazaka that a balabas, when he's busy paying, he's busy paying. So therefore, chances are he incorrectly said, I paid you, because he's so busy with the others. So Ella, what's the reason that the balabas is the one that swears? It's mishum, that is balabayas tori b'poyalim hu, and he thought he gave him the money, and he didn't. That the balabayas is tori b'poyalav niyasav lei b'loy shvua. If you're so sure that he was busy with other people, that he didn't go ahead and pay him, so why is the sacha swearing? Why is he swearing? Just throw a shrew on him? No, we have a chazaka that the seicher is right. We seem to have an opinion that the seicher is correct. That why? That the balabas was busy. So why are we making him swear? Ihachi niyasav lei b'loy shvua, and for Gemara k'dei lahafis daitish balabas. In other words, the reason why he's swearing is also to appease the balabas. Balabas is telling that I paid you. Balabas doesn't say, "Oh, I was so busy and therefore I may not have paid you." The balabas thinks I paid you. We have a chazaka that you didn't. Why is he making the shvua? To assuage the balabas. He's making a shvua. It'll be niche with that. Fred Gemara, why do you have to make a shvua when the yasavle be'edim? Why don't you make a takana that the balabas should pay with edim? Then we'll know for sure. You'll know for sure whether who's right. Don't stamp throw a shvua. It says we're a trichli milsa. It's a tircha. It's payday. I'm gonna have to go find the edim. It's a tircha. So it's much easier to throw the shvua on the seicher. Fred Gemara, when the yasavle meikara, pay him before he does the job. Again, we want to avoid the shvua at all costs. It seems we don't want to make the shvua. We want to avoid it at all costs. So you know what? Pay him before. Pay him up front. Pay him up front, and therefore he can't have a taina that you didn't pay him because you paid him up front. Says the Gemara, Shneim writes about kafa. They both want credit. Rashi, Shneim writes about kafa. Balabayis pa'amim she'enloi. He doesn't want to pay up front because sometimes he has a cash flow problem. He doesn't have the money. U'poil shema yiplu mimenu. The poil will be busy working and always be worried that the money's going to fall from him. So each nicha that to pay after the job is over. The balabas, he may not have the money, and the worker doesn't have to have the concern of worrying that the money may be lost b'shas his pula, b'shas he's working. Ihachi, if you tell me that balabas is torah b'melacha, afilu katzatz, even if the balabas set his schar, and they have a machloikis about how much the schar was. For example, Nami, Alamatanya, Umin Oimer Shtayim Katsatztali. The woman said you went ahead and you set I'll say $2 for me. V'hala Oimer, the balabas says like Katsatzti Ela Achas. I only did one. Hamaitzi Mechaver Lavaraya. Why do you say it's a Maitzi Mechaverai? Why don't you believe what? The balabas, the worker. After all, the balabas is tar b'malacha. So if you tell me the balabas is tar b'malacha, why do we have this halacha that if you set an amount katzatza and you have a why is a ma'aseh mechaveh, right? Right? It says katzitza v'aday mitka. Right? If he goes ahead and set a specific amount, v'aday is going to remember. V'aday is going to remember if he set a specific amount, and we don't say that what the balabas is tar b'malacha. Ihachi says the Gemara at the balabas is tar b'malacha. Afilu avar zmanoi, even if the zman passed by, nami he should be believed with his shvua. Now, as we said, guys, what the Mishnah say? He's only believed with his shvua during the zman to be paid up. He's not believing afterwards. If you tell me the balabas is tarid, he should be believed even after the zman of collecting. He's a day worker. He's supposed to collect at night. The next morning, right? He's not believing with his shvua anymore. But why not? If the balabas is tarid b'malacha, it should not have a statute of limitations right on time. So why doesn't he make a shvua in that case? Allah Matanya, we learned in our Mishnah, of his mana yen nishba b'naito. If this man passed, he doesn't go ahead and swear. Shechazaka ein balabayas over mishra bal talin, because we have a chazaka that balabayas will not be over on bal solid, right? So why not? If he's tar b'malacha, why wouldn't he be over on bal solid, right? And for the Gemara, so that's the Gemara's teretz. We have a chazaka that what? Then ein balabayas over mishra bal talin, and therefore only during this man he's believed, but after this man he's not going to be believed, because after this man, the work the Yerushalayim would be sure he's not over l'sal tzasachir. Ihachi that balabayis is tarbit afilu avas man. Oh, we answered that. Okay. But ami balabayis tarbit poil of who? Guys, you have contradictory chazakas here. On one hand, you tell me he's so torrid he didn't pay him. On the other hand, you tell me he's not going to be over Basalin. You're only over Basalin when you know that you didn't pay the guy. Over here, you thought you paid him. Why are you saying you won't be over Basalin over here? After all, you thought you paid him. For the Gemara, and for the Gemara, Hani Mili Mikame de Lamatias Man Piyuva. That's before you get this man of paying. Then we'll say he's Tarid. I'm in Aleph. Aval Matas Man L'Chiyuva. When you get this man to pay, then Rame Anavshe Mitkar. So it's not Pshat, he'll always forget. He's busy at this time. And if you claim at this time, he'll say, I paid you. But now, when he's going over the books, guys, it's about Sullen. So what's he doing? He's going over the books and checking off who was paid. And now he's going to see, then what? Then he's going to know the truth, and therefore he won't be over about Sullen. Guys, what you told me, Guys, look at me. The sacher is believed b'toich this man. He's working the day, and at night he's believed to say at night he didn't get paid. The next morning, however, chazaka that is not over basalin. So if the worker is willing to swear, are you telling me the work is over on Sigzol? The guy's willing to swear I didn't get paid. So what difference does it make if it's b'toich this man or after this man? Yet you're saying after this man, chazaka, that what? He's not over about Solon. So Fred the Gemara Kasha. The Kisachar over Mishnah about Sigzel says Hasam Trei Chazaka Hachachad Chazaka. By the Adam, by the Balabas, we have two chazakas, and by the worker we only have one chazaka. Chada, being Balabayas over Mishnah called Solon. The first chazaka is that the Balabas won't be over about Solon. The chada dein sacher mashu staroi, and the sacher doesn't delay going to be paid. In other words, if you're owed the money, you're going to show up because you know that he's not over about Solon unless you're toiveya. So therefore, two chazakas. One, he was busy. Two, the sacher is going to be there to pay up. However, by the sacher, the chada dein sacher mashu staroi. The chacha over here is one chazaka that he would what. That the chazaka that he would not be still collecting a second time. No, it's only have one chazaka. It's after this man. You have two chazakas versus one chazaka. Okay, the two chazakas is one, he won't be over about Solin, and two, the sacher himself, the work himself, is going to be toiveya. Why won't you believe? It's not that we don't believe the worker after this man, but he only has one chazaka. What's that chazaka? That he's not going to lie and swear. So 2 versus 1, therefore we won't let him swear the second time.